Welcome to the pregame show for the Michigan Jaguars game against Michigan Futsal Factory Sunday night. We've been waiting all day for it. The Michigan Jaguars last week had an impressive, decisive win against Legends FC. And here's what head coach Dan Diek had to say about that win. Head coach of the Michigan Jaguars, impressive and good, decisive win against the Legends FC this past weekend. What did you see from that game?
Yeah, I feel like my past 3 years experience, we tend to get better as the season go by. So I think we're a team that like to play soccer. So there's a lot of little things that need to come in place for our game to work and try to make it perfect. So usually, like I said, every year we start a bit slow, but then our game is getting better. So I feel even with them we score. I thought a beautiful goal, and I think we kind of relaxed a little bit. We thought the game is going to be easy from there, and then they bounce back with a goal and give them a reason to fight, and it became a challenge, right? So we made couple adjustments on a second half on the lineup and on certain positions, which I think it opened up the game again for us. So, but overall, I thought it was a good match. I thought it was enjoyable to watch. So
It was enjoyable to watch. I gave you a chance last week to highlight your relationship with your son, who helps with the team. Now I'm going to give you a chance to talk about your relationship with Coach Zafi of Madonna University, and who's assisting you this year. How important is that relationship in terms of both not only related to soccer stuff, but also like away from the field, and his recruiting philosophy and the amount of players that he's brought to this Michigan Jaguars team? How important is that for you guys?
yeah, I mean, first of all, I think Mark, it's a long-term friend. So I think been working together for a long time. He's been in charge with the Michigan Youth Soccer, the ODP program, and I used to be, I started as a goalkeeper coach, and then I become the goalkeeper director. I think I was for 7-8 years, and then as we work at the club level, coach against each other and coach together. So I think we do share the same philosophy. So I think that's kind of great about. I don't think we're the same, and I don't think we agree on every little detail, but I think it's a good balance. I think for me, having him next to me and be able to share my thoughts and listen to his thoughts, it just create I think a good balance on working with those players. So yeah, he does help me in the summer, and I usually help him. I'll help him in the fall, and obviously we work with a lot of players from Madonna. They come in the summer team, and then I train them in the fall. So it does help me, on recruiting these players, and I think it also help him evaluate those players over the summer and try to see their progress and how they respond to a different voice. But I think it's definitely enjoyable for me to have him on my side.
Absolutely. And I know you guys don't change anything based on team to team, but what would you say are the keys to beating this game or winning this game against Michigan Futsal Factory this weekend?
Yeah, we played them. We played them last year. It was an interesting game. Actually, I think they had like a 10 minutes, like a 10 minutes thing where they scored like 3 goals on us. Right? They kind of came from nothing. I thought we started the game well. We controlled it, and then they just scored 3 goals. We made some adjustments, and we bounced back. We lost 3-2, but we could have won easily by, like 4-3, 5-3. We had enough scoring opportunities. So because we have a mix of college players with young players, for us, I think it's all about managing the momentums of the games, right? I think if we score our chances, it can be again a fun game. If we run from behind, then it can be difficult. So I do expect to be an entertaining game. I think they like to play soccer as well. So again, I feel like who's more focused on the key moments of the game is going to take advantage. So that's how I see it going. So, but I do expect it to be a fair game and enjoyable. They have some good players as well.
Thank you to Dan Diek for joining us on the pregame show. On the other side of this, we're going to talk to veteran leader Arthur White about some of his experiences with the Michigan Jaguars. Stick around.
tempo. Yes, yes. Drop out. Good. Yes. Touch, play. Right foot. Yes. Scan, scan. Good. Touch in, play. Drop your hip. Right. Yes. Good scan. Yes. Jay, well done. Get side on touch. Play. See it, see it, see it. Yes.
Welcome back to the pregame show for the Michigan Jaguars game against Michigan Futsal Factory. We talked to one of the leaders and veterans of this Michigan Jaguars team, Arthur White, about what brought him into the Michigan Jaguars organization and what we can expect from him as he continues to grow in his career at Northwood. For sure. Arthur White, one of the leaders of this Michigan Jaguars team. First, let's go into your history with soccer and the sport. How did you get involved? Who are your kind of leaders at a young age, like getting you involved in such a great sport?
Yeah, I have two older sisters, and they both played soccer, so that definitely was a big falling into it. More into Jags. I mean, I played for Huron Valley for probably 4 or 5 years before that, and then I've played for Jags for about 11, 12 years now, I think. I've tried to do the math in my head. I can't remember, but yeah, just honestly played a lot with it and started to get a little bit more invested in the pro side. Just started watching Arsenal a little bit more, and went from there and just fell in love with the sport.
Over the past 11 or 12 years, however long it's been, how do you feel like this Jaguars group has kind of molded you, not only on the field, but also off the field?
Yeah. They've definitely been there when I was at my lowest with a couple injuries, a broken leg, some other stuff that just happened back to back. So having those guys just to be behind you and be able to, have that support system and just be able to reach out, send a nice card and do stuff like that. Definitely something that really made sure that I would do that for more players and pass it on. And, some of the players that I still play with, Matthew Morzinski, Vincent, Alex, I know he's not playing this year, but all those guys I've played with throughout the years. And it's great to kind of just reconvene and, have that time just to spend time with buddies, be able to play, at a competitive level and be able to enjoy the game.
You mentioned you're an Arsenal fan. What drew you to them? What drew you to the Gunners?
It's going to sound kind of crazy, but majority of United States people don't really have a tie to England. Like if you do, but my uncle got me a jersey and I just didn't take it off for, I think, multiple weeks. Like the badge, by the time I couldn't wear it anymore, it was too small for me. The badge was fading. All the little lettering was peeling off. And Mom's like, okay, you need to get a new one. Like this is too much. So yeah, I fell in love with it probably around the time of Mesut Ozil, Alexis Sanchez time. So a great time to be an Arsenal fan. Past couple of years have been good, but before that was, it was tough.
Awesome. Now you're playing at Northwood, correct?
Correct.
And how did the Jaguars, I guess, essentially get you to a place where you could compete at a really high Division II level?
One of the biggest things is the group that I think I was with. A lot of the coaches always wanted to see the best for me. I've so many coaches that I can thank and be appreciative that I'm even in this position. That pushed me. They were like, if you want to do this, you gotta take these steps. You gotta prepare in these training sessions. You gotta play alongside these older players and do this stuff. Jags kind of gave me just the upper hand on sometimes just being able to, think about it at a different level or play at a higher level or to do stuff like that. So
you touched on it earlier, but the impact that this professional, semi-pro, however you want to categorize it, this Midwest Premier League team has had on you, I know it transcends what goes on the field. What can you say about Dan Diek's leadership and this group, especially, that makes you want to keep coming back and playing for this team year after year?
Yeah, I mean, Dan's someone that he doesn't spare the details. He's always someone to tell us the little things that are going to make us better, and sometimes we just forget. Like, we've all been playing for, since we were kids, or for so long, that we just forget little details that are important to the game that make our lives easier. And he makes it. He just not even tries to simplify it, but just makes it a little bit easier and just gives us little things to push us up to that next level. Those little minor details. We all have the major things down. It's little minor details that are going to get us from a win, loss, draw, or something like that. And the guys are. I couldn't be more thankful to have some of the guys. Some of the guys are from my high school team. Some of the guys play with clubs. Some of the guys I've played with 5-6 years ago now that we're meeting up, and it's great to have those people.
That's awesome. Now, coming into this game against Futsal Factory, I understand you guys lost to them last year. Tell the folks at home why they can expect the Jaguars to come out on top tonight.
I expect us all just to be working our butts off. I mean, that's what if stuff's not going right, that's what we're going to do. I know that's what I'm going to do. And I know a lot of the guys will be behind me, be behind the rest of the team. We're just gonna give it everything. We're gonna work our butts off. I mean, we saw that against Troy. Like, it was hot. People were cramping, but we fought to the last minute. Just didn't end up going our way. And I think that's, a couple bounces, a couple finishes, a couple better clearances, and then that would have been a win. But I think that just working our butts off, giving that opportunity to everyone, and just being there for the fans and being able to show and represent Jags in the right way.
A big thank you to head coach Dan Diek, as well as Arthur White, for joining us on the pregame show. On the other side of this, we will have the opening kickoff for the Michigan Jaguars game against Michigan Futsal Factory. Don't go anywhere.
I'm Craig Hearn. Today, I'm here with the football doc, Dr. Zachary Atwood. He's going to show me some simple exercises and stretches to do before my soccer games. Because, to be honest, I'm getting a little older, and I need to be better prepared for these games. All right, he's got some stuff he's going to show us. Let's jump in.
What's up, guys? Dr. Zach here with Craig. We're going through a dynamic warm-up here. Super important, especially in this age group as we get older. A lot of guys that I see, they go right from their car and straight to the field without any warm-up. We want to make sure that we're getting the body warm, we're getting loose, we get the heart rate up so that we can help reduce injuries. All right, guys, so I've got Craig currently doing some grass sweeps. He's doing a Frankenstein stretch, and he's also going through some pogos right now. Whoa, Craig, what the hell?
Yep, sorry, Doc. All this newfangled dynamic warm-up, this and that. What was wrong with my old warm-up? Oh, yeah, the doc was right. Definitely need the new warm-up. Oh, good Lord.
What? And I'm gonna give you one opportunity because we're friends.
Winner! Who gives a shit about where the ball's been?
Yeah, F him. They went from loving this guy, best move ever, to hating him.
I think it's the most ridiculous thing in the world.
I love it because it tells you how the game was played.
There's nowhere for him to go. I think there's one place.
You can't do that in the national team. Do I look like I'm freaking kidding?
Those things that are absolutely insane.
Successful and sexy? No. It wasn't aggravating at times? Yes.
Sorry,
that's not very fair.
It's not about being fair.
Welcome to the greatest soccer show ever.
The heat index is through the roof as 36 men will bravely take the field in the hottest day of the year so far in what's sure to be a stellar, hard-hitting match in the Midwest Premier League. It's the Michigan Jaguars against Futsal Factory, live and in living color from the Hawk. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another great match on We Are Soccer. My name is Garrett Bogg, and today's pregame show is brought to you by HealthQuest Physical Therapy. The Michigan Jaguars are proud to have HealthQuest Physical Therapy as their title sponsor for the past 4 years and are excited for many more. The Jags are coming off a decisive victory against Legends FC, which is the perfect confidence booster for a team that's trying to push further ahead in the Great Lakes East table. Meanwhile, Futsal Factory is playing their second game in 2 days after getting boat raced by Liquid Football last night, losing by 4 goals to the best team in the division. They'll look to get back right tonight as they continue their most successful season so far in the Midwest Premier League. Let's talk about the keys of the game. We will start with Futsal Factory. Their big key is to be organized on the defense. They don't want that back line to get pulled and separated from each other. Keeping those center backs and fullbacks together is going to take good communication across the board. In addition to that, they want to hold possession and control the pace of the game as it's a very hot day and they don't want to tire themselves out. For the Michigan Jaguars, they want to manage the momentum, as head coach Dan Dieck talked about in our pregame, including starting out hot and doing what they can to get ahead early. If they can make the most of their chances, they'll have a good chance of winning today's match. As we are getting very close to starting here at the Hawk on a 98-degree day, what feels like 106 down there on the field. Let's go through our starting lineup. So we'll start with the Jags. In goal is going to be Afonso Henrique. He had 4 saves against Cedars FC, one of the other best teams in this division. A couple weeks ago, he allowed 2 goals on 6 shots. On the defense, it'll be Janir Gonzalez-Torres, Tanner Locke, Ryan Moody, and Nino Shembri. Nino Shembri, it's his first start of the season, and he scored 6 goals and 9 assists as a forward for Schoolcraft last season. He's going to play on the defensive line this time around. In the midfield, it'll be Arthur White, who we talked to in our pregame, Tyler Niemi, and Ryushin Harami. Arthur White scored an assist as a sophomore with Northwood last season. He's one of the leaders for this Jags team. On the attack, it'll be Nathan Casal, Vincent Stockton, and Ryan Sanborn, all Detroit Mercy guys, if I'm not mistaken. No, excuse me, Casal plays at Northwood. Sanborn last week against Legends FC scored twice, and that was a very decisive win for them. They play in a 4-2-3-1 formation. For Futsal Factory, their starting lineup in goal is going to be Wesley Billings. He played in the national tournament multiple years in a row, also under the leadership of head coach Drew Ducker. On the midfield, it'll be Thomas Dono, Yunez Ramajiku, and Graham Unsworth. Thomas Dono was a graduate from Macalester College. He scored the most goals in the National Futsal Premier League last season, where Futsal Factory prioritizes a lot of their time in terms of training and stuff like that. On the attack, it'll be JP Assenmacher, Marlon De Freitas, and Renan Paiva. It'll be a reunion of sorts for Marlon De Freitas and Renan Paiva as they played for Jags assistant coach Mark Zathe at Madonna University. De Freitas was an assistant coach with their squad last season. Those are the starting lineups. You're looking at the lines getting set. I do not believe there's anybody in the box once again to do times or national anthem or any sort of theatrics. So they'll stand out there, they'll look pretty, and then they'll shake hands and we'll get going here as it is a intensely hot day. I have been sitting here for maybe an hour and 15 minutes and I've already sweat from head to toe. I cannot imagine the amount of sweat that'll be dripping from these players on the field by the time this game is all said and done. It does help that the game is later in the day. It's not, a 12 o'clock start time when the sun is at its brightest. And there's a chance that this sun will start to fade and kind of go away, for lack of a better term, as the sun goes down, as the night goes on, excuse me. Dan Dieck, the head coach of the Michigan Jaguars in his 4th season, 47 points in total, still at the -3 goal differential. They are 2-2 up to this point in the season. 7th place out of 10 teams in the Great Lakes East Division. And a win today would put them in a tie for Futsal Factory, who is in 5th place with a 3-2 record, 9 points in the table. Leading the way in the Great Lakes East Division is Liquid Football, who, like I said, boat raced this Michigan Futsal Factory team last night. They lost 5-1 at Liquid Football, and playing 2 games in 2 days is difficult enough, but when you play 2 games in 2 days with incredible heat index the way it is today, it's difficult. So I'm curious to see what that recovery process for Futsal Factory looked like last night coming into today. It's not often you get double headers in a league like this where, you only have to play, I think it's 10 or 12 games, not a lot, but the league stretches or the season stretches from the last weekend in April all the way to the first weekend in August. And Drew Ducker, he goes by the name Ducks. He not only coaches this Futsal Factory team, he also runs the entire organization. And typically he's a player. Usually he'll run out there with that number 13 jersey and get involved in the action as a player coach. Today, not going to be the case. I'm not sure if he's dealing with a nagging injury or anything like that. He's getting up there in age, so no offense to him. But the older you get, it is tougher to keep up with a lot of these kids who are still playing in college. Some of them recently graduated. And in addition to coaching here, he was the former boys head coach at Dexter High School, where him and his family reside. And he is still the Michigan club head coach. That's a team that's been very successful. Usually goes undefeated in the regular season before, traveling to the national tournament down in Texas and going up against really tough teams that probably also went undefeated in their division. We are underway here at the Hawk, Farmington Hills. And the quick attack for the Jags goes up empty, as it'll be David Buck to throw it in on the far sideline. Get things started for the Futsal Factory. Kick sent way far and away. It's going to be a goal kick, most likely it is. For those who are not aware of what futsal is, it's a version of I don't know how else to describe it, but indoor soccer that's played on a small court that is played with a ball that's a lot smaller and denser, and it's a South American game that is typically used by players to get themselves better at soccer. When you're on a smaller court with a more dense ball, it forces you to be more in control of your foot movement and really gets you to fine-tune those skills. It's 5-on-5, and it's a lot of fun. I've had the pleasure of working with the National Futsal Premier League, the highest level of futsal in America, for the past couple seasons. Looking forward to it this winter as well. And Futsal Factory almost went undefeated before losing in the national championship to Brusa, which is a club in Arizona. A little fun fact for you guys there. Just a minute and a half into this game, I want to remind folks that this broadcast is brought to you by the North American Soccer Expo, taking place August 1st through 3rd, 2025 in Novi, Michigan. The premier event designed exclusively for soccer directors, coaches, administrators, and professionals at every level of the game, from recreational to professional. Whether you're guiding a grassroots program or leading at the elite level, you'll find tailored content to match your experience, from dynamic on-field demonstrations to in-depth classroom sessions. Beyond the education, this is your chance to network with peers, connect with mentors, and be part of a growing community dedicated to advancing the sport. Don't miss our 2 evening social events, perfect for building lasting relationships and exchanging ideas in a relaxed setting. Register today at NorthAmericanSoccerExpo.com. That is NorthAmericanSoccerExpo.com. Play still going. Not a lot of connective tissue between either of these teams, as the ball's just been kind of bouncing around for the first couple minutes of this game. This is Thomas Dono. Will come down. That's Jason Kevich. I have a knack for mispronouncing his name because it looks like Jasinkiewicz, but nope. I've been corrected more than enough times. Now it's got finally ingrained in my head. Stealing this ball away is number 23, Yunez Ramajiku. Speaking of confusing names. He gets that pass to Dono. It's deflected. Jaden Pickett will find Graham Unsworth on the outside. Dexter. Here we go, and then JP Assenmacher trying to do a spin move, not successful. A lot of tough, tussling play there. And winning on that occasion was Jonier Gonzalez. Plays a Madonna from the country of Colombia. That's number 8, Graham Unsworth, once again. Gets the ball ripped away from him. Also plays for the Michigan club team with David Buck and others that we will see pop out onto the field today. Should clarify, Buck graduated from the University of Michigan, so he won't be there this upcoming season. Speaking of Buck, he's going to take that throw in. Not successful. Or is it? I don't know. This ball is bouncing in every direction besides the way it's intended to go. Quick attack here. JP Essenmacher, they're going to call him offsides. Probably off by just a hair. It looked like the defender that was near him was pretty close. It's possible that he started running just a second too early before that pass was made. You'll see the Jags try to take advantage of quick strikes and quick attacks. That's not the pass that you want. This is Marlon de Freitas on the attack. Looking for Essenmacher, not able to get him. Ball's going to roll out of bounds. It's a throw in for the Jags. Dan Diak assisted by Mark Zathy, among others, including Alex Isayevsky. He's a 5'10" defender who played at in a lot of different countries in Europe. Plays for the North Macedonia national team. I didn't know North Macedonia was its own country, but until earlier this morning doing some research. This is Ramajiku, who passed it to Paiva and ended up, I thought he dribbled it out of the back of the end line, but instead, it's a corner. And it just deflected off of the defender, and he will be the one to send it in the mix. Most of the Futsal Factory players standing outside of the box, and this one's sent in. It's far, headed away by number 39, Ryan Sanborn. He did have Graham Unsworth directly in front of him. It was wide open. Maybe could have got a better angle towards the goal. He elected to not pass it to him. Arthur White kicks off the chest of a Factory player. Still in attacking zone. Excellent pass from Marlon de Freitas. Smacked away. Still in dangerous territory and cleared out into the chest of David Buck. No shots on goal quite yet. Actually, scratch that though. The first was a shot on goal. It's his first save of the day for Afonso Henrique, who will play this first half but not the second, as Alvaro Lopez, another Madonna player, will come in. Trying to strike here. Chasing after this one is Nathan Casal before Wesley Billings wisely gets out of the net and scoops that ball up before sending it to Graham Unsworth. This is Pickett, who will go back to Billings. So while you'll see the Michigan Jaguars try to take a lot of quick strikes, for Futsal Factory, they mentioned, their head coach Ducks mentioned that they want to keep possession. And this is not one way to do so. Attacking chance here, trying to scoop that one into the box, getting outran, I believe, by David Buck. Will allow Wesley Billings to collect that ball. And that was not Buck. It was actually Connor Simpson with the excellent closing speed. Ball sent across the way from Ramajiku. It's a little too far for Jason Kevich. That'll be a throw in for Nino Schembri. Playing defense today, he was an attacker for Schoolcraft, as we mentioned in our pregame open. And besides the attacking chance for Futsal Factory in the box, there's been a lot of consistent momentum for either team in this game. It is early, but you got to wonder with the heat index and with FFA playing on a back-to-back The A stands for Futsal Factory Academy, as they put a lot of resources and effort into their youth, hosting and participating in a lot of youth futsal tournaments in the winter. Not expecting that pass. Gets the ball to Marlon de Freitas. Deflection will bring possession back to the Jags. This is Arthur White, midfielder from Northwood. Trying to keep that ball alive. Was number, I'm not sure who that was, but passes a little too far, but brings possession back to the Factory. So Futsal Factory not known for their outdoor team, but still a lot of fun to watch. Here's an attacking chance. That was Arthur White, gets it inside. Shot directly into the arms of Wesley Billings. That shot was taken by Vincent Stockton. This is Ryushin Harami. That's going to be a call 9 times out of 10. Inej Ramajiku trying to keep possession alive, ends up tripping the attacking player. Ryushin Harami, the 5'7" midfielder from Madonna University. The pride of Japan. Not the only Japanese player that we will see on the field for the Jags. Kai Miyata, number 45, will step in as a sub at some point today. In Midwest Premier League rules, you can sub onto the field once per half. And with a hot day like today, I imagine there's going to be a lot of substitutions, or key substitutions, I should say. Wonder when that timing comes. Free kick sent directly into the net. Great save by Wesley Billings. Not sure who that shot was by, but that's the second save of the day for the Futsal Factory, who only brought one keeper to play today. So it'll be him for both halves. As we mentioned earlier, the Jags will play a second keeper at halftime. After halftime, excuse me. Attacking chance, excellent speed from 39, Ryan Sanborn, who scored 2 last week, trying to get an assist. Here we go, shot, saved! Billings, blocked! Excellent defense from Futsal Factory. The attacking chance is not over though. Pickett sends it up into the air and headed away by Paiva. Wow, excellent stuff. There was a real chance that Vincent Stockton could have sent it into the net after 2 beautiful passes from the other attackers, Nathan Casal and Ryan Sanborn. And I believe the second shot was blocked by David Buck, if I'm not mistaken. Speaking of Buck, he'll get the ball far side of the field. We'll get it to Paiva, the Brazilian. Thomas Dono, the team's captain, sends it up the field. This is Paiva, far Wayne, 25 yards out, trying to get it inside to Assenmacher. Will instead go to Marlon de Freitas as that shot blocked, sent all the way up to heaven. And it comes back down to de Freitas. Unfortunately for him, there were 3 Jags players in the area to play defense. Graham Unsworth receives the throw in. That's Assenmacher. Not a lot of connective tissue on that possession there from Futsal Factory. They'll get back into shape, while the Jags will look to make a run of their own. And Dan Diak, the ODP goalkeeping director, along with part of the coaching staff as part of that youth organization. If that's not offsides, I don't know what is. They're not going to call it, though. Thankfully for Futsal Factory, Casal was not there in time to collect. Instead, it's going to be number 38, Tyler Niemi, one of the youngest players on this team, going inside. I think he wanted Nathan Casal. He didn't. Casal did not chase after that ball. I wonder if he thought or knew that he was offside, so he didn't even bother. Not sure what that was. Pickett, back to Billings. Almost a third into this half. for Futsal Factory. It is their most successful season ever in the Midwest Premier League, and they still have 5 more games left to play. Speaking of success, this is Assenmacher after a beautiful pass. Saved! Not the right shot that Assenmacher wanted. And head coach Drew Ducker is probably kicking himself after watching 2 great attacking chances where the attacker just sends the ball directly into the goalkeeper. Doesn't try to take any angle on the kick. Frustrating stuff if you're a Factory fan. Trying to spin that ball in a different direction was number 39, Ryan Sanborn. Doesn't take the right touch, so Factory gets the ball back. So as I mentioned earlier, this is the most successful season for Futsal Factory. It is their 3rd season in the Midwest Premier League. They have 25 points in total, and each of the last 2 seasons they only had 8 points. Great defense from Connor Simpson to catch up, the man from Calvin College. So only 8 points each of the past 2 seasons. This year they already have 9 with 3 wins. So even though it is, for them, a very successful season, they still got 5 games left to play, and the job's not done. Substitutions will come in, I think. No, I'm wrong. That we're going to have a water break. 15 minutes in, I imagine this is going to be the periodic time. Every 15 minutes we will take a step aside, and just to prevent any heat stroke from taking place. While they're taking a break, we will remind folks that this broadcast is brought to you by Derek Bauer Realty Solutions. Do you have questions about buying a home, selling a home, or just about property in general? The Michigan Jaguars are proud to have Derek Bauer as their official real estate partner, and he is happy to answer any questions you may have. Visit BauerRealtySolutions.com/contact-us. That's BauerRealtySolutions.com/contact-us. Big thank you to Derek Bauer Realty Solutions for sponsoring today's broadcast. While this water break is being taken place, I'm going to take a step aside and get a drink of water myself. I'll be right back. Players making their way back out to the field at a very loose pace. You could have seen on the camera there a lot of conversation going on between the Factory members as well as the Michigan Jaguars, between the 2 teams, I should say. Like we mentioned, some of these players play with each other at Madonna, and there's also a sibling rivalry. So the captain for Futsal Factory, Thomas Dono, is going up against his brother, his younger brother, Dominic Dono, who plays with the MLS Next Michigan Jaguars team and will be in the lineup at some point today. So nice sibling rivalry. This is Sanborn. Near side wing will go back to Tyler Niemi. Apologies if I hit my mic there. will cross the field. Fake the shot. You don't want that one from out there. Niemi loses the ball. Gets deflected back to Arthur White. Wanted a shot. Gets deflected off of Graham Unsworth. Who took a tough shot to his thighs. Walking gingerly. Imagine he's just sore at the moment. Great pass. Far side. I do believe this is Vincent Stockton, if I'm not mistaken. Shot inside. Saved by Billings. Another shot. Blocked. And sending it out of bounds is Thomas Dono to force a throw in. In less than 20 minutes of play, Wesley Billings already has 4 saves. So this is what the Jaguars want to do. They want to create chances for themselves, and also they want to convert, but the more chances you're able to create, the better chance you have at scoring on those chances. Trying to take that shot was number 32, Nathan Casal. Was not able to do so. It'll be Renan Paiva. We'll send it down the wing. Checking the stream right now, looks like we got about 80 people, over 80 people watching today's matchup live from the Hawk. Thank you for being here on We Are Soccer, whether you're watching from YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, MySpace, and wherever else you may be across the world. Thank you for checking us out, as both of these teams are looking to rise in the standings. A win today for the Jags would move them into a tie for 5th with this same Futsal Factory team. And for Futsal Factory, if they were to win, I think they would move themselves up to 3rd, if I'm not mistaken. It depends on if the Stars beat Legends FC earlier today. I imagine they did. And if that is the case, Legends FC would still be without a win in their campaign. But Michigan Stars would continue to improve upon their very successful season where they're competing with Liquid Football for that top spot. Trying to keep the ball alive is Ryan Sanborn. He's doing a great job. This is Nathan Casal. That shot, or pass, I should say, blocked out of bounds. It's a corner. If I'm not mistaken, this is the 2nd corner of the day for the Jags. A little over 20 minutes into this match. Fun, competitive stuff so far. Both of these teams just trying to feel each other out. To take it will be Ryushin Harami. Brad of Japan sends it. It was on the near side and was headed away by Jaden Pickett. And that afro of his. Imagine there's a lot of cushion on that head bump. Throw-in incoming for the Jags. And I am curious how these refs will handle the water break. If you're a Jags fan, you know that these refs that the Midwest Premier League has brought in have been questionable at times when it comes to the way they officiate games and when they decide to play games or not play games. As substitutions for Futsal Factory will come in. It's Guy Ramos, one of the star futsal players in the NFPL, as well as Robbie Oates, the midfielder, checking in. Taking a step off will be Graham Unsworth, as well as Marlon de Fritas. Throw it over the head of the defender. We'll get to, I believe, Guy Ramos, who sends it just a little too far out of bounds. Was looking for Assenmacher. To throw it in will be Shembri. Double team incoming, and a foul called, I believe it's going to be on Casal. So they're going to say it's a free kick instead of a throw-in, as Casal was double teamed. Pickett sends it in. Receiving this one, 13, Jason Kevich. Excellent pass. That's Guy Ramos trying to get after it. And better defense from number 42, Ryan Moody, the 6-footer from Detroit Mercy. to prevent Guy Ramos, the fresh Guy Ramos, I should add, from getting to that ball. The way he was able to close out that attacker. Excellent stuff. Pretty good defense on both sides up to this point. The keepers have had to work, I'll say that, but in addition to the saves that both keepers have made, 6 combined, there's just been some good defensive pressure to keep these teams from hitting the back of the net. Calling out the play was the Futsal Factory defender. Guy Ramos felt pressure, and they were going to call a foul on that. They were going to give advantage initially, but he turned the ball over, so it'll be a free kick towards the center midfield. Back into play. Ramajiku was begging for it, not going to get it. They'll go inside and turn it over instead. This is Tower Niemi, who will instead go back to his keeper, Afonso Henrique, from Brazil. One of many Brazilians on the field at the moment. Renan Paiva, speaking of Brazil, keeps the ball alive on that far side wing. Wanted to go inside to Ramos, not able to do so. An attacking chance was coming from the foot of Harami. Instead, it's a turnover. Now trying to keep that ball alive was Connor Simpson. On a movement back and forth, this is number 5, Robbie Oates, who's checked in. Chembry pokes that one away. Good movement from that attacker to fake going inside, and he does it again. A stutter step, 2 in a row, sent his defender on skates. Closing in to try to get that ball was Nino Chembry. Instead, he shoulder checks it out of bounds, as we now have 3 substitutions coming in for the Jags. It'll be number 43, Dominic Dono, the brother of Thomas Dono, the captain of the other side, in addition to Otavio, and Adam Pluschek. Some header sends the ball up and away. There's some very brave ball boys and ball girls on the sideline to help make sure that the pace of play continues. God bless them for being out there in this intense heat. Excellent pass. Paiva was on the outside, except he was off. So will be a free kick instead for the Michigan Jaguars. Nearly 30 minutes into this match. Headed by David Buck. Possession flips to the Jags. I've said that phrase a lot, possession flipping back and forth, because neither one of these teams has been able to really be on the same page in terms of where they want the ball to go. Again, not sure if it's a heat thing or if it's a tired thing or what's going on here. Something that's interesting to note is that some of these Midwest Premier League games that I've commentated for, I noticed that the team really doesn't come out to start warming up until about 30 minutes before the game starts, which to me is crazy. I would need a lot more time than that if I wanted to warm up for a high intense match such as this. But both of these teams here today were out well before an hour before the game started, out practicing, doing their warm-ups, running their drills, and keeping themselves warmed up, going back and forth from the locker room, which is on the far right side of your screen, on the right side of the field, I should say. Ball deflected back to Wesley Billings. Prevents the shot from 34, Janier Gonzalez, excuse me. This is 43, Dominic Dono. I got that number wrong, I apologize. 3 more substitutions on each side, so a total of 6 players coming in. Notably for the Jags is number 31, Jeshua Cabillos, the defender from Madonna, as well as Ethan Goldstein, a defender for Michigan Futsal Factory, coming in. The Jags running a 4-2-3-1. Futsal Factory typically runs a 4-3-3. A lot of different coaching philosophies and styles of play here in the Great Lakes East Division. It's exciting to watch different teams like this, where for Futsal Factory, they do this mainly as a way to keep their guys trained and in shape, mostly for their futsal season in the winter, and some of which for the Michigan club season, which starts in the fall. Excellent speed from Chambries. He's able to chase that ball and keep it alive for the Jags. Tripping over this one is number 45, Kai Miyata, who's checked in very recently. And for the Jags, they have a lot of, now the 30-minute mark is passed, so it's going to be another water break. A great time to, we'll get back to that different play styles point in a second, but it's a great time to remind you folks that today's match is brought to you by the North American Soccer Expo, taking place August 1st through 3rd, 2025 in Novi, Michigan. The premiere of taking place August 1st through 3rd. The premier event designed exclusively for soccer directors, coaches, administrators, and professionals at every level of the game, from recreational to professional. Whether you're guiding a grassroots program or leading at the elite level, you'll find tailored content to match your experience, from dynamic on-field demonstrations to in-depth classroom sessions. Beyond the education, this is your chance to network with peers, connect with mentors, and be part of a growing community dedicated to advancing the sport. Don't miss our 2 evening social events, perfect for building lasting relationships and exchanging ideas in a relaxed setting. Register today at NorthAmericanSoccerExpo.com. That's NorthAmericanSoccerExpo.com. Drew Duck. Play resumes. 15 minutes left to go in his half. Now, the thing with the water breaks is I'm not sure if they're going to add an extra 5 minutes or so onto the end of the first half. They're going to call it a 45. If they do add time, are they going to take another water break at the 45th minute? Be curious to see that, as a trip on Nino Chambry gives the Jags a free kick in the attacking zone. Crossed field, not where the ball was intended to go, but still managing possession are the Michigan Jaguars. Good defense there from, I believe that was Assenmacher, who's now flipped to the far side of the field. Was acting as the left winger, now is operating on the right side. A little bit of personnel change. Ramos, back to Ramajiku, trying to keep that one in bounds as Assenmacher not able to. All these passes haven't been on point. Again, is it a heat thing? Is it a tired thing? Is it a mix of both? Ramos trying to get behind that ball, not able to do so. Instead, it's going to be a counter-attack chance for the Michigan Jaguars. Look at that speed. Number 43, Dominic Dono. trying to get that ball inside. Not the touch he wanted. He was looking for number 46, Otavio Toluso, midfielder from Schoolcraft College. Ball swings to the far side. This is Buck, who will go back to Simpson. Those two have played the entirety of the game up to this point. Robbie Oates as now the Factory are content to play the possession game for a little bit. Trying to close in on that one was number 47, Adam Pluschek. Scored last week. Off by a wide margin is Guy Ramos. I think he expected that pass to come a touch sooner. If I'm not mistaken, it was Robbie Oates that settled on the ball for a second before kicking it. Just a timing error. It's one of those things that typically you'd iron out in practice or training. Pluschek. Good ball movement from the Jags. This is Cabillos. That was Arthur White on the far shot, or far pass, excuse me. Kicking it out of bounds is Buck, allowing his team to catch up. And Ryan Moody will be the one to throw it in. He's got Pluschek directly in front of him. Won't go to him, though. But wanted Dono. Ball's kicked up into the air. Passed inside. Offside's not called. Shot saved. Oh my goodness. A whip around kick. Not successful either. There's going to say there's a deflection off of the ball, which makes it a corner for the Jags. Great save once again by Wesley Billings. That's his 5th save of the evening. And it's not even evening yet. The sun's still out. Great save once again by Wesley Billings. Not even evening yet. The sun's still out. One in. A lot of players lined up on the far side of the box. It's on the ground. Shot, blocked, deflected away. Trying to keep that one alive instead of letting it roll out of bounds. It was Dominic Dono who tried to turn it around and kick it in, but it was a weak shot and an easy pickup for Billings. That's Oates outside of Buck. He's going to drive. He sees space. He's going to take advantage. Going on the far side to Assenmacher, who gets triple teamed and fouled, giving the Factory a chance to attack in the middle third. Less than 10 minutes left in this half. Before stoppage time, of course. Ball sent to the near side of the field. Downing that one is Ethan Goldstein. We get out to Lucas Yasayan, who checked in some time ago. Jason Kevich will go inside, deflected by Cabillos and now kept in bounds. This is Shembri, going to face some tough defense. Manages to get it past the defender there. Shembri loses the ball underneath his feet. Quick turnover. Potentially, there's a lot of stuff going on. Foul call? I imagine there has to be something. They will call it on Shembri. You could hear the impact from the foot to the shin guard all the way from up here. Cabillos steals the ball. Now it's a counterattack. This is Pluschek. Wants number 45, Kai Miyata, on that right wing. Not able to get him. Not enough zip on that pass, and not the right angle either. It was a little too short. Again, the Jags are a team that want to rush the attack. They want to try to push numbers forward. While Futsal Factory, they are content to play the long game use all of their players here in the first half. Checking in now, Chris Nauman, I believe is his name, along with number 6, Sal Orlardi. Apologies to Mr. Nauman and Orlardi if I missay their names or mispronounce it. A great attacking chance off the head of Dominic Dono, still keeping play alive. And now in the counter-attack chance, this is Assenmacher back to the left winger spot. And Schembri keeps it in bounds, trying to start a counter-attack chance for the Jags. Dono finds Niemi, who's played the entirety of this half. Possession flips once again. Ball inside. This is Guy Ramos, who finds Assenmacher. Ramos is kind of flipped back to that midfielder spot, while number 6, Orlardi, is inside. Shot directly into the chest of Alfonso Henrique. That's his 3rd save of the evening. He will not be active in the second half. It'll be Alvaro Lopez, who I believe played in the last game against Legends FC. Didn't have to do a whole lot there, only 2 saves in that match. Jags have done a great job of generating pressure up to this point. It's just on them to be able to take advantage of those chances. Dieck has mentioned how much he wants to play from ahead instead of playing from behind. Last week, they were able to play from ahead for a majority of the game. They never went down to the Legends. It gave his team that confidence boost that at this point of the season, after this, they'll be halfway done with their Midwest Premier League 2025 year. Schembri trying to keep it alive, fighting through a ton of contact. Instead it goes to the Factory. Tried to skip past the defense. Instead it will be the Jags trying to keep it alive. A lot of ball movement and kicking and hitting around on the near sideline. Otavio Toluso wanted to go quick. Center ref says, no, a little back over here. So it'll be Miata to throw it in. He gets the ball back. Wanted to cross it. Not going to do so. Miata was intended on that pass. It was a turnover, though. Now trying to get a run going is Futsal Factory. Before that, lazy pass turns into a turnover before the ball gets sent right back to the other side. It's like I'm watching Pawn, that classic game where you just send the ball back and forth. That's what this soccer match has kind of turned into up to this point. Could have played advantage. Center ref decided not to, so ball stopped before it gets turned over. That pass, too much zip on it for Otavio Toluso. Typically a midfielder, he's on the striker position right now. That ball sent down the way. Chasing after this one is number 3, who trips over the goalkeeper. And Kai Miata will send it out of the side, the near side touchline for a throw-in. And there is a trainer needed as Alfonso Henrique is holding, looks like his right upper leg area on his thigh. That was number 3, Chris Nauman, who was trying to attack on that. It's very possible that he kicked the keeper, Henrique, directly in the gut or in that leg. And he's just feeling the weight of it right now. A reminder for folks at home who are not living in the area, it is hotter than hot right now if you took all 7 depths of hell and combined them. I don't think it would reach the heat that these men are feeling on the field. I believe the high for today was 95 degrees with a 200% humidity. Right now the current temperature is 91 degrees. And not a lot of wind blowing on the field. There is a light breeze here and there, but nothing consistent. Henrique is seemingly better. He is still gingerly walking though. You see them, you see him kind of trying to iron his leg out almost and try to shake it off. To throw this one in will be number 4, Connor Simpson, defender from Calvin. Simpson throws it into the box, headed up off the crossbar. Wow, near shot from Futsal Factory. I'm not sure who headed that one. I think it might have been Guy Ramos. Send that ball whipping around. It's out of bounds on the far side touchline. Throw in for the Jags. Throw in, trying to go far up ahead. What an excellent move to be able to get that ball above his defender's head. And now a chance for Adam Pluschek trying to chase after the ball. Excellent slide tackle. I believe that was Connor Simpson. Still an attacking chance though. This is Chembry trying to go inside. Instead he'll take a shot from the other side of the city. And we'll go way above the net. If that shot was on frame, it probably would have went right through the net, like that iconic scene from the last season of Ted Lasso. Goldstein goes back to Billings. Deep shot taken by Futsal Factory will go into the arms of Henrique. Looking for Guy Ramos on that. We are now in extra time. We've been in extra time for about a minute and a half, so that answers my question on how they were going to handle the extra time for water breaks and such. I imagine we got another 2 to 3 minutes left before they signal for the end of the half. This is Nauman to throw it in. He's got 3 guys in front of him, all tightly guarded. Guy Ramos heads it behind him, taking advantage and stolen from the defense. Arthur White sends it down the way. Headed by the right shoulder. There's a Toluso in that striker spot. Ball sent back to Simpson. Kicking back and forth with him was Lucas Miller, who checked in some time ago. That deep shot taken to Nauman. It's too far for him. Probably would have been out of bounds if he was in the right spot anyways. Kick sent away by Pluschek, so it is a throw in for the Factory. Up to this point in the game, it's been a lot of loose, relaxed play from both sides. I think for the most part, they're trying to just keep their energy up and not wear themselves out. Foul on the Jags. I think Chembry's been hearing it from the ref all day. Might have been a good old two-handed shove. Not a lot of time left to play in this first half. Not a whole lot has happened either, if I'm being honest, in terms of significant events. It's just been a lot of disconnected passes. But when the opportunities are there, they are putting the ball on frame. It's just been an excellent clinic from the goalkeepers. out Connor Simpson. And that is the end of the half with nearly 4 minutes of stoppage time. It's been an interesting game up to this point. No score for either side, no cards. A combined 8 shots on goal. So the opportunities are there. Neither side is really connecting on them, though. I'm curious to see what the message from the halftime coaches is. And speaking of the halftime message, we're going to go straight into our pre-recorded halftime segment. We'll see it on the other side of that for the live halftime report.
Welcome to the halftime show for the Michigan Jaguars game against Michigan Futsal Factory. If you missed our pregame show, you might have missed our conversations with Dan Diak, as well as leader of the Michigan Jaguars, Arthur White, about some of their experiences with the club up to this point. Take a look. Head coach of the Michigan Jaguars, impressive and good decisive win against the Legends FC this past weekend. What did you see from that game?
Yeah, I feel like, my past 3 years experience, we tend to get better as the season go by. So I think we're a team that like to play soccer. So there's a lot of, little things that need to come in place for our game to work and try to make it perfect. So usually, like I said, every year we start a bit slow, but then our game is getting better. So I feel even, with them, we scored, I thought, a beautiful goal. And I think we kind of relaxed a little bit. We thought the game is going to be easy from there. And then they bounced back with a goal and give them a reason to fight. And it became a challenge, right? So we made couple adjustments on a second half on the lineup and on certain positions, which I think it opened up the game again for us. So, but overall, I thought it was a good match. I thought it was enjoyable to watch. So
it was enjoyable to watch. I gave you a chance last week to highlight your relationship with your son, who helps with the team. Now I'm going to give you a chance to talk about your relationship with Coach Zathi of Madonna University, and who's assisting you this year. How important is that relationship in terms of both not only related to soccer stuff, but also like away from the field, and his recruiting philosophy and the amount of players that he's brought to this Michigan Jaguars team? How important is that for you guys?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, I think Mark, it's a long-term friend, so I think been working together for a long time. He's been in charge with the Michigan Youth Soccer, the ODP program. And I used to be, I started as a goalkeeper coach, and then I become the goalkeeper director. I think I was for 7-8 years. And then as we work at the club level, coach against each other and coach together. So I think we do share the same philosophy. So I think that's kind of great about it. I don't think we're the same, and I don't think we agree on every little detail, but I think it's a good balance. I think for me, having him next to me and be able to share my thoughts and listen to his thoughts, it just create a good balance on working with those players. So yeah, he does help me in the summer, and I usually help him. I'll help him in the fall, and obviously we work with a lot of players from Madonna. They come in the summer team, and then we train them in the fall. So it does help me, on recruiting these players, and I think it also help him evaluate those players over the summer and try to see their progress and how they respond to a different voice. But I think it's definitely enjoyable for me to have him on my side.
Absolutely. And I know you guys don't change anything based on team to team, but what would you say are the keys to beating this game or winning this game against Michigan Futsal Factory this weekend?
Yeah, we played them last year. It was an interesting game. Actually, I think they had like a 10 minutes thing where they scored like 3 goals on us, right? They kind of came from nothing. I thought we started the game well, we controlled it, and then they just scored 3 goals. We made some adjustments and we bounced back. We lost 3-2, but we could have won easily by, like 4-3, 5-3. We had enough scoring opportunities. So because we have a mix of college players with young players, for us, I think it's all about managing the momentums of the games, right? I think if we score our chances, it can be again a fun game. If we run from behind, then it can be difficult. So I do expect to be an entertaining game. I think they like to play soccer as well. So again, I feel like who's more focused on the key moments of the game is going to take advantage. So that's how I see it going. So but I do expect it to be a fair game and enjoyable. They have some good players as well.
For sure. Arthur White, one of the leaders of this Michigan Jaguars team. First, let's go into your history with soccer and the sport. How did you get involved? Who are your kind of leaders at a young age, like getting you involved in such a great sport?
Yeah, I have two older sisters, and they both played soccer, so that definitely was a big falling into it. More into Jags. I mean, I played for Huron Valley for probably 4 or 5 years before that, and then I've played for Jags for about 11, 12 years now, I think. I've tried to do the math in my head. I can't remember, but yeah, just honestly played a lot with it and started to get a little bit more invested in the pro side. Just started watching Arsenal a little bit more and, went from there.